Guys, it's just cards by Sara. Today I will share my design team project for Wild Orchid Crafts. I've made this mini album and I'm so happy with how it turned out and the gorgeous flowers. Oh, it's zoomed out. And the gorgeous flowers from Wild Orchid Craft. So I'll just quickly show you guys the front cover, and then I'll take you through the items I used from Wild Orchid. I used the 100 Foundation White Blossoms, and that's BM00039, and they're the 27mm, and I sprayed them. There will be links below to all the flowers and everything I've used from Wild Orchid. 100 Foundation White Blooms, and they're the 45mm BM00044. They're great for spraying, take sprays so well. I used the 50 White Apple Blossoms MKX625, and as you can see, a lot of them are white. The 50 White Lilies PM00080. The 50 White Cosmo Daisies, and that's MKX-119. What else did I use? I used the 50 Mixed Purple Lilac Cherry Blossoms MKX040. And I used these ones here. I used the leaves in the 100 two-tone rose leaves in the 20mm, which is MKX447, and I also used them in the 40mm, but I couldn't find the code for this one. Sorry guys. So I don't know if they've sold out or they're getting more in, or I used the 60 white ivory and tan, self-adhesive pearls, 5mm, MKX497. The great thing about this is you're not just getting one colour, and you can figure out the colours you like before you order just one colour. But I just love them, and I've been using them on everything. What else have I got? I've got these ones, which are great also. They've got a lot of starter packs, and this is sort of like a starter pack where you get a ton of different colours that they've got. There's like dove grey in here. You've got the walnut colour, the amber colour, sorry. You've got like the pink, you got like the pale peach, dove grey, sorry, I think I've said that. And then you got like the minty green colour, you know. But you get a lovely choice there, and you can decide which ones you really like and which ones you don't. So, for projects. Anyway, this one is the 100 Mixed Vintage Coloured Open Roses, 20mm, MKX043, and they're the 20mm. Oh, sorry, I used the dark purple, and I used this lighter tanny colour. I've used these on every project so far. 50 White Magnolias QVR028, and the great thing about them is they're actually quite big. I'll show you. They're quite large in my hand, if you guys can see that. Okay, but the great thing about them is they can go flat, or you can keep them puffed up, or you really got the choice. And the great thing is you can put 3 on one project, and they look fantastic all together. And what else did I use? I used the 1 meter Autumn Gold Organza Rose Trim in the small, MKX616. I used the 12 Mixed Leaf Metal Embellishments GST160. I also used the pins in the white. I haven't got the code for them, but I will have the code below. And I also used the vintage seam binding ribbon in light mink, and that's SB00009. I'm not too sure about that code because I've had that for a while, but I will have the proper code down below. Some of the items I also used was the specimen stencil from the Crafters Workshop, and I used this and this design. I also used from this page this design here and this one here. What else did I use? I also used from the memory box the ring. I think it's called Puddles and Rings. Yep, Rings and Puddles. That's absolutely gorgeous, and it also comes in a splatter, but I didn't use that one for this one. I actually used the lines I got at the show, and this one is called Scrapped Paint, so I use that with some texture paste from Faber-Castell. The sprays I also used was, I didn't use that colour, I used the Clam Bake Beige Lindy Stamp Gang, the Walnut Ink Tuxedo in the Lilac, the Lindy Stamp Gang Seagrass Green, the Wild Watch Blue, Lindy's, the Steampunk Sepia. Most of these come from the like a pale sort of collection, and the rest, and this one comes from the Industrial Chic, which is Steampunk Sepia. This one's the Bodylicious Blush, which I got last week. I love that colour. And the I'm Late Slate, and that's from the Mad Hatter collection. Okay, now I can get cracking. Sorry, guys. And over all the flowers, I went over Inca Gold. So basically, I've distressed the edges. I've used the collection from Fab Scraps. Love this collection, and you get these gorgeous sheets. And the great thing is you get about 10 sheets of each, and they're great size, 10 by 10. And I just love it, and it's done me forever. I also have the die cuts, which was good for photo mats. And I've also used some dies from my stash. So the Prima flowers. I've used the Prima doily, the other doily, and this doily. Okay, that's done. Okay, basically what I've done is I've sprayed my flowers, distressed the edges. I've masked with that specimen stencil that I showed you from the Crafters Workshop. And it looks like this. So you got this one and this one. And basically what I did was I've distressed, I've used one of those dies, and I've used the paper again. I've used another die and laid 2 die cuts on top of each other, distressing it and curling the edges back. I've put corners in each edge. I've put bows of this gorgeous lace that match the paper so well. I've used this stringy stuff that I've got. It looks like this. I'm not too sure what it is. My mum picked it up from the $2 store, and it was for Easter basket. So I can't tell you what it is, but it was from the $2 store. What else have I done? I then started layering my flowers. This was one of the flat daisies, and I just laid one of the apple blossoms over the top. I've got one of those magnolias. I've got the lilies and the lily in that Steampunk Sepia from Lindy's. I've also got Cosmo Daisy, those vintage pack roses. They were both from, and the Cosmo Daisy. I've got the 40mm leaves, which I've gone over with gold. I've got those metal leaves on each side. One was from a stash, one was from the pack. So you get 12 different ones. I've used my stems and curled up. Oops, it's stuck on my lace. But I've curled it up on each side. And that was the front. And all up there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pages. So it wasn't meant to be this big, but it kind of just kept getting bigger and bigger as I was doing it. So basically, again, I've distressed the edges. I've used a die cut using that paper. I've got the pearls from Wild Orchid. And then I've 3D'd this piece up. And this is the photo mat. Another pearl down here. One of those flat daisies. And then a butterfly punch with a pearl and that stringy stuff again. On this page, I've again used that same mask, that butterfly one, this one here, Specimen by the Crafters Workshop, and I've got that there. I've used a die cut from my stash and a circle die cut from my stash, some thin twine on a roll that I had that I got a closing down sale. As you can see, my rings. I've used a butterfly die from my stash, some pearls from Wild Orchid. Then down here I've used the apple blossom, which I sprayed, and the Cosmo Daisy. I've used the 20mm leaves, gone over them with in gold, and I've done a bow. And I've used, this was a copper key lock from Tim Holtz's key lock pack that I've sent from Marie. Thank you, Marie. And I went over with Inca Gold to make it gold to suit everything else. All the edges are distressed. Every single page is distressed. This one I've torn, as you can see, and then I've gone with the doily, again over the top of the oval, distressed the edges. That's dimensional. Cosmo Daisy, apple blossom. Actually, they're both apple blossoms. And I've just gone over with yellow on this one, and then a green center, and then this one is all yellow. And then I've used the flat daisy and the leaves. On this page, I've used that same stencil. The edges are distressed. I've created a pocket, as you can see here. I've used some chipboard from my stash, which I've gone over with that aged copper. Oops, I've got to glue that properly. Aged copper by Stampendous. And I've also used my Martha Stewart doily punch. And I've created a pocket up here, which I've hung a charm from, which just pulls out. And that's those die cuts I showed you at the beginning. And I've just used that mink seam binding from Wild Orchid, a memo pin from my stash, and a little key charm. And I'll just hang it back over. So that will just dangle over, and the ribbon will hang out. Okay, the next page, I've kept it quite simple. I just wanted it to be a frame that you could slide the picture under. I've used that butterfly again, the pearls from Wild Orchid, Cosmo Daisy, and a cherry blossom from Wild Orchid, and the 20mm leaves. Again, I've gone over them in gold, and I've done a bow. Over here I've kept it quite simple again, using another different stencil, and I've cut that flower in half. I've got it the top and bottom, and I've layered this in the middle, so you will lay your photo here. I didn't really want to add too much, because the problem is once my mum adds her flowers, this is actually for a box that I made a long time ago. I'll leave the link to the box video, and it's going to actually sit inside the box, and then the card also matches that you've already seen start to finish off this month. But I didn't want to add too much, because she's still got to add the photos. So I thought she could add pictures of her father, my grandfather, duh. So that's that one, and it's torn. The next page, I've used a strip. I've used a part of one of those die cuts tags. I've got a punched edge, a doily, a flat daisy that I've halved, butterfly, and half of a flower. This one I've halved the doily. I've laid the die cut photo mat in the middle, and two pearls, one there from Wild Orchid. Then this one, I've used the doily die from Tim Holtz, and I've laid a die cut from my stash. I've got the 40mm leaves and the Magnolia, which I sprayed using that Delicious blush, and I went over with gold, Inca Gold. And then I used that scraped paint one by Memory Box stencil that lines. And then this one, I wanted it to be a pocket so that you could tuck things in. The doily's actually stuck. Whoops, I haven't got any nails. The doily's actually stuck down, so you guys can see. And that's that Prima doily. I've tore it in the middle. I've created that pocket. I've then layered that gorgeous rosette trim with the tulle on it down the bottom. And then I've just added these 2 tags, Mink seam binding from Wild Orchid, memo pin and key charm for my stash, memories sticker from Tim Holtz, and another die cut for a photo mat. So that just sits in that back page. And I'll just pull that out. And then on the back page I've just torn it and I've layered my Handmade by Sara logo. And I've just left it at that. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I tried to put a lot of work in it because I wanted it to be special for Mum. I also went in, I don't know if you can see, I'm going to zoom in really close, but I've actually gone with matte medium and I've layered some Finnabar Prima mica flakes and seed beads. And I've got the beads here and the mica flakes here. Mica flakes here and here, and the seed beads here, here, here. And that's it. But I'll show you the packs I used. Sorry, hang on. You can see it a bit clearer. That's it. The packs I used was these 2. And I used the glass beads in butter and the mica flakes in mulberry. And I got them from Scrap Friends from Rose in Australia. But I'm just really happy with how it turned out. I hope my mum likes it for her birthday. And like I said, it's going to go sit in that memory box I gave her a couple of years ago. And I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think. And I'll talk to you later. Be sure to go check out the Wild Orchid Facebook page, YouTube channel and web page. And check the store out. There's some awesome flowers, like I said, the starter kits if you're not too sure what you like yet, which have a multitude of colours, or they'll either have a multitude of colours and the one style, or they'll be different colours and different shapes, or some will just be all white and range from the biggest to the smallest. So you've got a choice there, or even some come with flowers, lace and pearls. So you've got some choices, so better go check them out and let them know I sent you over, and I will see you all later. Bye.